Thank you for going right with Peter Boykin.
And I think it's time to go right.
Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Today we dive into headline stories that are stirring debate and raising important questions about our constitutional republic and the future of our democracy. First up, the selection of the jury for the trial of former President Donald Trump. With all 12 jurors now finalized, the stage is set for what promises to be a contentious legal battle. But what's raising eyebrows is the apparent bias of the preceding judge, Juan Merchan. His controversial remarks have cast doubt on whether Trump can receive a fair trial amidst the political landscape of Manhattan. And as we scrutinize the backgrounds of the selective jurors, it's evident that their diverse sources of news and personal biases could shape the outcome of this trial. The big question remains, can Trump secure justice in a system that seems stacked against him? Turning to our second story, the U.S. Air Force's historic achievement in conducting an AI-controlled dogfight. This groundbreaking milestone marks a significant leap forward in military technology, with implications for the future of warfare. But as we celebrate the achievement, we must also grapple with the ethical and existential questions it raises. How do we ensure that AI remains bound by ethical constraints and respects human rights? And what safeguards are in place to prevent governmental overreach and abuses of power? As we navigate the brave new world of AI-driven warfare, it's imperative that we uphold the principles of liberty, accountability, and respect for human dignity. And finally, breaking news out of Capitol Hill, U.S. taxpayer funds are being funneled into a controversial research project conducted at a Chinese laboratory. The alarming revelation underscores the urgent need of transparency and accountability in government spending. As lawmakers demand answers, we must remain vigilant in safeguarding taxpayer funds and ensuring that research endeavors prioritize safety and the best interest of the American people. Now join us next time as we continue to explore the pressing issues facing our constitutional republic and champion the values of liberty, accountability, and democracy, our republic. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and hashtag Go Right. This article and more is on GoRightNews.com. Jury selection in Donald Trump's NDA trial. Meet the jurors who will decide Trump's fate, a political hotbed. All 12 jurors have been finalized to preside over the trial concerning former President Donald Trump's alleged falsification of business records linked to a non-disclosure agreement with adult film star Stormy Daniels in 2016. A saga Trump dismisses as political persuasion or persecution. The scene. Now, Juan Merchan, the presiding judge, whose evident bias against Trump has sparked controversy, declared, quote, "We have our jury," upon selecting the 12th juror. Now, here's the jury lineup, and I'm sure it's changed by now. Juror 1, a New York City resident with an outdoorsy penchant, says, informed via New York Times, Daily Mail, Fox News, and MSNBC. Jury 2 is keeping an open mind despite following Trump's ex-lawyer turned critic Michael Cohen and leaning on right-wing sources. Juror 3, an attorney hailing from Oregon, relies in New York Times and Google for news, of all places. Jury 4, a California native and security engineer, enjoys metal and woodworking amidst family life. Juror 5, a New York educator, sources news from Google and TikTok, acknowledging Trump's frankness. Juror 6, a Manhattan-based software engineer. Juror 7, a civil litigator from North Carolina, gathers news from various mainstream outlets. Jurors 8, 11, and 12, details are pending. Juror 9, a Manhattan speech therapist, navigates news through CNN and New York Times, pledging impartiality. Juror 10, eschewing news but indulging in podcasts on behavioral psychology. And of all these jurors, nobody's following Go Right News? Meanwhile, there's dismissals. Two jurors, including one who confessed to familiarity, basically the family was messing with him. It was influencing him. And another with a history of political activism were excused. The new agenda is backup jurors will be appointed. The big question is, can Trump secure a fair trial amidst the political landscape of Manhattan? So do you think that Trump can get a fair jury pool in Manhattan? The source of this is National Pulse and Fox News, and I'm pretty sure by the time you listen to this, a whole lot more news has happened in the Donald Trump trial, and we'll keep up as much as we can. You can check out this article and more on GoRightNews.com. U.S. Air Force reports historic AI dogfight. Human versus AI dogfight, a glimpse into AI's role in military operations. The U.S. Air Force has confirmed a groundbreaking achievement, its first successful dogfight involving a fighter jet entirely controlled by artificial intelligence, AI. Now here's the scoop. The dogfight pitted a manned F-16 against a AI-controlled X-62A Vista, an experimental version of the F-16. This historic event unfolded as part of the Air Combat Evolution ACE program at Edwards Air Force Base in California, initiated by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, in 2019. Now, in the thick of the action, the ACE program pushed the boundaries of flight safety by executing defensive maneuvers before escalating to offensive tactics, including nose-to-nose engagements where the aircraft closed in at astonishing speeds of 1,200 miles per hour, coming within 2,000 feet of each other. Test pilots were stationed aboard the AI-controlled aircraft, ready to intervene if necessary. Although their intervention ultimately proved unnecessary, as for the winner, the Air Force has remained tight-lipped about the outcome, leaving the results shrouded in mystery. Now, why it matters. Bill Gray, chief test pilot at the Air Force Test Pilot School, underscored the significance of this milestone, stating dogfighting was the problem to solve, so we could start testing autonomous artificial intelligence systems in the air. Every lesson we're learning applies to every task you could give to an autonomous system. Now, looking ahead, the achievement serves as a precursor to the broader integration of AI technology in military operations. Reports from last year in 2023 revealed that the Pentagon's intentions to harness AI to augment its drone fleet, marking a significant leap in the military's technological capabilities. But I wonder about Congress because obviously they haven't updated with their technology, wanting to ban TikTok. On a sobering note, while the advances in AI technology are undeniably impressive, they also raise profound ethical and existential questions. In a world where governmental overreach and abuses of power are all too common, the prospect of AI controlled military assets introduces a new dimension of concern. Will AI remain bound to ethical constraints, or could it be manipulated to act against the very citizens it was designed to protect? Skynet, Terminator. As we navigate this brave new world of AI driven warfare, it becomes increasingly critical to ensure that our technological advancements align with the principles of liberty, accountability, and respect for human rights. Only through vigilant oversight and ethical stewardship we can harness the potential of AI while safeguarding our Republican and democratic values. The source of this is Fox Business and The Verge. You can find out more about this article and more on GoRightNews.com. Taxpayer money fuels risky Chinese bird flu research as a congressional inquiry is demanded. Are you aware that your tax dollars are supporting risky Chinese bird flu research? U.S. taxpayer funds are being funneled into a project conducted at a Chinese laboratory, aiming to increase the virulence of bird flu. What's concerning is that the same entities overseeing this endeavor are associated with the controversial Wuhan Institute of Virology. The National Pulse reveals that U.S. taxpayers are unwittingly funding a venture at a Chinese military lab, with the Department of Agriculture, USDA, collaborating alongside the Chinese Academy of Sciences, which oversees the controversial Wuhan Institute of Virology. As the details emerge, 18 members of Congress have stepped forward demanding transparency and accountability. Now, led by Representative Nick Langsworthy, a Republican from New York, a letter addressed to the Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack denounces the research initiative, which aims to enhance the virulence of avian influenza strains to potentially catastrophic levels. I don't even know why. Why? The project, funded by the tune of $1 million and slated to run until 2026, raises serious concerns about its implications for national security and public health. I still don't understand why. Why in the hell would you develop more potent, life-killing? I don't get it. I don't get it. Quote, this research funded by American taxpayers could potentially generate dangerous new lab-created virus strains that threaten our national security and public health. The letter cautions, highlighting the gravity of the situation. Now, the backdrop of this alarming revelation is its current spread of bird flu in the United States, with reports of transmission to cattle and even to individuals working closely with infected animals. And the other day, 2 people died of eating that zombie deer meat. Experts sound the alarm, warning that bird flu pandemic could dwarf the impact of COVID-19 if the virus mutates and maintains its high fatality rate. However, the taxpayer-funded support of risky virology research doesn't end there. Peter Daszak, a research associated with Dr. Anthony Fauci, oh God, I knew that guy was going to show up, and the Eco Health Alliance continues to receive funding for experiments involving exotic viruses found in bats, pangolins, and other animals. This ongoing financial backing has sparked renewed concerns about the potential dangers posed by such research endeavors. Quote, the U.S. taxpayer is funding recklessness, cautions Dr. Richard Ebright, a virologist from Rutgers University, echoing the sentiments of many who worry about the consequences of unchecked experimentation. As the news unfolds, over a dozen House members, led by Representative Langworthy, are demanding answers from Secretary Vilsack regarding the USDA's alleged involvement in bird flu research from the Chinese Academy of Sciences. The inquiry underscores the imperative of safeguarding taxpayer funds and ensuring that research endeavors prioritize safety, transparency, and the best interests of the American people. To quote Ryan Shamels, quote, this research funded by American taxpayers could potentially generate probably death. This source of this is National Pulse. You can check out this more on GoRightNews.com. Hi, folks, this is Peter Boykin, and I just want to throw you a little advertisement about GoWriteNews.com and some of the social media that I am a part of. My name is Peter Boykin. I write for a website called GoWriteNews.com. We've been going strong for over 5 years. All the articles are shared by me, Peter Boykin, an American political commentator, a citizen journalist. There's not many of these journalists anymore. Activist, Constitutionalist for liberty. You can check out the website at gowritenews.com. If you want to find out more about me, please check out peterboykin.com. Now, we all know the streaming software out there, YouTube, Twitch, DLive, etc. There is a new one in town. It is kick.com. And I would appreciate everyone to go to kick.com/Peter Boykin and follow me and sub. You'll help out a whole lot. You can also go to YouTube at Peter Boykin for America, and Twitter, gowritenews.com or gowritenews. Telegram, you can look me up at Real Peter Boykin. And at Rumble, which is another great website, rumble.com/gowritenews. But if you like our content, I ask you to please support Go Right News and myself. And there is a Stripe link on the website at gowritenews.com. And you can also Cash App at $Peter Boykin, the number 1. That helps a whole lot. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy more news. The big question remains, why the hell the phone's got to beep right now?